There we go. So if anybody does miss the start, they can kind of double back. But thank you for your time today. Really appreciate the involvement from our partners, Dell and HP, Nutanix, and Pure Storage. I think we want to bring you something a little bit different, which is always nice. And but we definitely recognize that everybody's been living in a world with a lot of webinars, and we all can't wait to get back and do more of this in person. So with that. Wanted to do something a little bit different today. So really quickly, KJ Burke, Principal Technology Strategist here at CDW Canada, focus on the hybrid cloud. Work regularly with the 4 different partners we have on the call today to really try and help our customers deliver excellence. I'm going to go through a little bit of a scenario explanation. We're going to give each of the partners time to speak. I'll touch at the end just a little bit on scoring just to remind you guys. So again, if you missed this beginning, don't worry too much. So the scenario that we wanted to put in front of our partners, we wanted to make it a little bit complex. We know that data modernization and what you have to do with data, how you have to react, how you're trying to service the business is challenging. And so we didn't want to make this an easy cut and dry solution for any of our partners. We wanted a moderately sized company. We wanted multiple sites. We wanted to make sure that DR and disaster recovery functionality was sort of part of the consideration. Wanted to make sure that like most of you, that this fake company was both on premises in a co-location and in the public cloud. So they have some SaaS services. They're working with containers, and so all of that was important. So we gave that as sort of the scope, and then around the qualities we're really looking for. When I talk to customers, it's around the data, it's around the portability of the data. It's creating that compatibility and supporting traditional VM workloads, physical workloads, as well as persistent and non-persistent data stores for containers. Visibility across that, and then manageability. And then at the end of this, what we're going to do is we're going to send out a SurveyMonkey survey to have you score 1 to 5, with 5 being the best. And then the weighting that we gave to this was, as it shows on the screen, a little more weighted towards the data portability capabilities, because we know that talking with our customers, portability of data to the right place is really a challenge, and making sure that it's available to operate on. In the public cloud, if that's where the applications and processes are, or in the data center, or sometimes that data needs to be shared. So I think our partners are going to cover that. So I'll let everybody introduce themselves when it comes their time to speak, but we'll just get into it. And so the first ever battle royale. Are you ready to rumble? We have a 4-way free-for-all for data modernization domination. In the blue corner, we have Dell Technologies. In the turquoise corner, we have HPE. In the neon green corner, we have Nutanix. And in the orange corner, we have Pure Storage. So for the dozens in attendance from their computer rooms at home, from the largest city in Canada, Toronto, Ontario, and broadcast across the internet at the speed of light, are you ready to rumble? And with that, we have Dell Technologies.
Perfect. Thank you, KJ. Welcome everyone. As KJ said, James Scott, I'm the field CTO for Dell Technologies Canada. I'll reiterate a huge thank you. I know everyone on the call right now is probably back-to-back Zoom, WebEx team calls all the time, and let's face it, it's exhausting. So thank you to everyone who's joining. Look, I only have 15 minutes, so I'm going to go really quick through things. I'm going to keep this really high level. So this certainly isn't going to have time to go into lots of speeds and feeds, but love questions towards the end. Just check I can advance this. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. So just really quick, I'm just going to just kind of reiterate what KJ said. We're aware that there's this need for a main site hosting about 2 petabytes of data. I'm going to assume that's running about 200 of your applications. Site 2, about 1 petabyte of data, 100 applications. Site 3, just the same as Site 2 really, but we are aware there is a slightly slower WAN link to the main site. And then Site 4 that's being used for DR, so holding a replication of all the sites, and a total of 4 petabytes of data. We also know that you're using public cloud. So not just SaaS offerings like email, but we understand you're running a percentage of your actual applications out there. So 25% of your applications are currently running out in public cloud. And for the purposes here, and in the short time, I'm going to assume that the current environment is running on VMware across the sites. So as you can see, from a hardware perspective, what we're really proposing here is a mixture of HCI for the majority of the virtualized workloads and container workloads, which I'll get onto in a second. We're also proposing PowerEdge servers to meet the needs of the physical workloads. We're aware, as KJ said, there is a need to support physical workloads here, not just virtualized ones. And then PowerStore to provide additional storage requirements. We're aware you have a lot of data, so 8 petabytes across all the sites. So in this case, I feel that scaling out additional HCI nodes to deal with potential, just storage increases doesn't necessarily make sense and may not be cost effective. Again, we don't have the details right now on the compute requirements, so the exact sizing is something we can look at in the future. This is just an example. If you're looking to support, modernizing the applications and running, a container platform, utilizing more and more public cloud, I also suspect you're not taking on an army of people to deal with all of these things. Therefore, I think help in reducing the complexity and the lifecycle management of all the on-premises infrastructure becomes key. And if the aim here is to simplify, I think the last thing you want to be doing is worrying about, release certification matrices, or if one vendor's update is supported by, the hardware revisions and configurations that you're running, or what order you want to apply patches and updates in. This is why, we work with VMware so much to jointly engineer the HCI solution that's in front of you today. We don't have time to run through all of the benefits in this session, but just know this is based on best-in-class HCI platform. It's aimed at reducing operational costs by up to 72%, and really just automating the operational tasks so the team can, work higher up that software stack. And there's a good reason, I think, why we're leading when it comes to HCI. And in my experience, HCI is typically the first step that customers take when they're trying to drive a multi or hybrid cloud environment. And there's a good reason why that side of the business has grown so much for us at Dell Technologies. So I'm going to start here just by by suggesting that the first thing we want to do is really try and simplify the management and operations of all of this. So to make kind of the daily IT administration tasks easier across all of the sites and across all of the different hardware, we're recommending our Cloud IQ platform. So this is going to help you review the performance across all the different platforms. It's going to help perform impact analysis as your needs change across this multi-cloud environment. It's also going to help with long-term capacity planning as you modernize out those 400 applications. And what this is going to give you is a single pane of glass view of the physical infrastructure across all the sites, but that also extends into the virtual platform as well with the deep integration with VMware. And I think you're going to find this really useful. We know that you're already planning on 10% net new data growth, and this is really designed to help you monitor, predict those requirements through the integrated analytics engine, and at the end of the day, focus on daily systems administration tasks becoming easier, helping you identify potential vulnerabilities before they impact your environment. And as I said, those impact analysis tools so that you can predict that future data growth. So on top of Cloud IQ and to support the application modernization effort, given that you're starting to build new applications in containers and that you're already running a significant portion of your applications in a public cloud, I think there's a need for a focus here on a platform that's easy to consume, a platform for building these new container-based applications, but with that public cloud integration. And if you've already started looking at containers and container orchestration, you'll know that running that environment in production across multiple sites, across multiple clouds and physical locations is a pretty, quite frankly, monumental task. And if you've already started looking at how you manage this, you certainly don't want to be going out there dealing with master nodes and worker nodes, service meshes, network integration, how that integrates into a CI/CD pipeline for the development teams, and deciding who should take ownership of patching and updating. So Application development teams are going to be critical here as you modernize those applications. And unsurprisingly, application development teams want to do application development. They don't want to be building test systems or life cycling container orchestrations or applying security patches. So there are a number of benefits that we're positioning with Tanzu on top of this equipment. With Tanzu Mission Control, you get the integration of the public cloud native container platforms. So again, this single control plane and not preventing any vendor lock-in. So if it's Azure today, AWS in the future, GCP, doesn't matter. The integration of Tanzu Mission Control supports all of those. It's built using native Kubernetes, which I think has pretty much won the container orchestration battle, in my opinion. So again, not locking into any proprietary systems. And I think most importantly, this is built on top of an infrastructure platform that you know. So meaning the infrastructure team today can start deploying new clusters and managing those clusters as easy as they would the virtual machine workloads you're currently used to, and critically lifecycle managing this. In fact, we've seen sort of 92% less time spent patching, and on the developer side, a 37% increase in developer productivity. So my point is, everybody wins in this scenario. So we're really also here to make sure that you can attract and keep those top talents, driving this culture of test-driven development, paired programming, user-centric design, and cloud-native operations. And I think also critical here is that the storage platforms we're positioning support both those existing workloads. So obviously providing support for high availability and replication of the existing data between the sites and out to the cloud, but also for these new cloud native applications that you're going to start to develop. So this is a storage platform here that supports something called CSI, which is the Container Storage Interface, and a list of major capabilities to support everything from persistence, non-persistence, snapshots, etc., in that new container platform. So basically simplifying how you provision data through the new container platform. I think what's really great here is also that our friends at CDW have been using this with customers to great success already. There's actually a CDW reference architecture to get you started with Tanzu on Dell hardware. And just from personal experience, what I really like about this is the support from CDW to actually help with the application transformation process. You, as I said, you stated that you have these 400 existing applications, but you also want to start building new ones. So the team at CDW can help you with this, not just the physical infrastructure that we're proposing, but also the services to speed up that adoption of modern application delivery, and also layer on additional tools around networking and security on this platform. I'd also add that I would presume that data science and gaining insight from that data is also key. I always say that the data is probably the most important asset that any organization owns. It fuels the business. It's the key to driving insight into your customers and shaping the future growth of the company. So again, huge focus from us at Dell Technologies. We have 40 data scientist teams, just over 450 AI and ML projects, and 2,000 people globally focused on data science roles. So, genuinely speaking, I think most popular frameworks in this space that need to sort of train these AI and ML models moving forward, databases, data processing engines, they all run on top of Kubernetes. So I think this provides you with the modern platform for managing that containerized software set of packages. And I think it's increasingly looking like sort of the default substrate really for hosting these applications and future-proofs the platform by not sort of locking you into any specific cloud platform. So on top of this, we also know that you're looking for disaster recovery and business continuity. And again, I think the great news here, we have #1 solution in data protection appliances and software. The protection not just for the data that you already have across these different sites, but also for the workloads you're running in public cloud. In fact, right now we're protecting just over 4 exabytes of data in those public cloud platforms. And this solution also gives you some options around DR and business continuity with different options for RTO and RPO configurations. And obviously, critically, this data protection suite integrates into that Kubernetes platform to, again, help with the future development. Also, what this simplified data protection suite could provide you is additional options around your DR and business continuity plans. There is an ability within the package to actually utilize public cloud as a potential DR target. So what I propose is potential options in the future for reducing or even removing the need for the DR site entirely. So again, making sure that data stays portable out to those public cloud locations. So just to summarize things, we have this modern platform that I think firstly provides data portability, not just for the existing 400 applications by providing this consistent storage layer with replication between sites, but also for that modern data portability around containers and container orchestration. We have this consistent operational environment, so the IT team can really continue to use their existing VMware tools and then layer on options like container as a service and platform as a service, as I said, with support from our friends at CDW for to speed up that rapid application transformation process for you. And data insight, which I think is critical here. Built-in machine learning, not just to help with sort of the lifecycle management and the lifecycle, which I think is critical of sort of gaining insight from that data and then being able to action that data back into the platform to gain insight into where the business is going. And critically, this is simple. What we're proposing here at the end of the day is actually using industry-leading solutions. It's using existing reference architecture from CDW. We're using solutions that are being used by some of the biggest organizations globally today. And we're providing the end-to-end lifecycle management tools. So that, again, you don't have to check if software, hardware, security updates can be applied. We're validating that software stack for you. And I think the great thing here,
James, you got 1 minute, just heads up.
Perfect, thank you. I think the great thing here is this is just the tip of the iceberg. We have security tools that will help protect that data from things like ransomware. We have SD-WAN solutions for helping the cross-site connectivity. As I said, different options for DR. The final point I'll leave you with is that this all fits into what some of you may have heard is Apex from Dell Technologies. So the ability to take all of this and consume it in an OpEx pay-as-you-go basis, just like you're seeing in the public cloud. So I'm going to end here. I'm going to leave you with some links. I'll put that into chat if you want to dive through any of the information in more detail. We'd be happy to do that. And really all that leaves is for me to say thank you. Thank you for your time, both from Dell Technologies and from CDW. Thank you.
No, thank you, James. No, that was great. And somebody's speeding by outside. But no, that was great. And then we can pass ownership of the controls. And next up, we have HPE.
Can you hear me, KJ?
Yep, sounds good, Gaurav.
Perfect. We good to go? Green light?
Green light.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thrilled to be here, and congrats to CDW for putting on such a great event for us. Excited to walk you through some of the solution that I have put you through, but that I've put together for you in terms of the scenario that was described. So I'm just seeing, how do I proceed? Here we go. Okay, there we are. So quick intro. My name is Gaurav Shiramani. I am the National Solutions Architecture Leader for HPE Canada in the commercial space. I work very closely with our partners, CDW. So what I wanted to do was really start off with a quick intro about our strategy, because I think that plays nicely into the solution that I'm going to show you. HPE strategy, if you've been following, has been very clearly and boldly declared by our CEO that we are transforming, just as all organizations are undergoing digital transformation now, we ourselves are transforming to an everything as a service company. We are the edge to cloud platform as a service company. What does that mean, and what does that mean for our technology? I think those are some of the key things and key questions that I'm going to answer for you within the next 15 minutes. Really, what we're doing is we're building a bridge from edge to cloud. There's data at the edge, data at the cloud, and as KJ mentioned, portability and making sure that your applications run where they need to, irrespective of where the data resides is key to that, and that is all about unleashing the power of your data. We also need to ignite innovation with cloud. What that means is, yourselves, all the customers that we encounter, cloud has matured, and organizations have realized that cloud is not a destination, it's an experience. So when we talk about that, we're not moving to cloud to save money necessarily. What we're doing is organizations are moving to cloud is to leverage the agility and the flexibility that they gain with public cloud, and the simplicity of being able to start an application in minutes, and be able to start a VM, and start rolling out infrastructure within seconds even. That's the kind of experience that you and other customers have come to expect of everything now. And our goal is to transform and deliver that experience to you, irrespective of whether we are delivering a public cloud, a hybrid environment, or an on-prem environment. The reality is all environments are going to be hybrid. I think we've all realized that. It's not going to be all in public cloud. It's not going to be in on-prem. It's going to be in a hybrid environment because there's a lot of legacy applications which are not going to be able to be portable into the public cloud. But what we want to do is ensure we retain that operational model like that public cloud, that agility of that public cloud, that simplicity of that public cloud, while retaining the actual data where an application, where it's suitable to run that application, whether it's the data gravity, the performance, the throughput that that application needs. If I need an application on-prem, I need it to run on-prem, and I need to be able to operate it and modernize it just like I would in a public cloud. And that's what we're finding. And that's what our HPE strategy is firmly focused around, is how do we make things simpler for you, and how do we allow you to operate more like a public cloud through and through in your hybrid estate. So hope you could see this. I'm going to walk you through the proposed architecture. You've got the 4 main sites. I was going to actually whiteboard the site architecture, the site-to-site architecture for you, but we're having some issues with the whiteboarding. What I'll do is, if we have the 4 sites, KJ's talked about the requirements. You saw the requirements at the 4 sites. We've got a main site, we've got 2 DR sites, and then we've got, we've got 2 other colos, and then we've got a DR site. We've got infrastructure at each of those sites. This is the proposed architecture for the main site. It is enabled through a cloud-defined and cloud-enabled data plane with our newly announced HPE Alletra storage. Oh, sorry, not sure why that went ahead. A newly announced HPE Alletra storage and our composable infrastructure platform. The composable infrastructure compute platform that you see is critical to this because it allows us to run the application modernization infrastructure that you're looking for in a bare metal or a virtualized estate, consolidated estate, allowing us to compose workloads dynamically on our Synergy platform. We're all 100 gig connected, and what that composable architecture also enables for us is an optimized east-west traffic control as your applications share more data amongst each other, as opposed to traversing a north-south architecture. So what you're seeing here is more of an east-west architecture traversing the data plane between our compute architecture. Upstream, we're going 100 gig links, so you're getting the maximum throughput into your core. And ultimately, we're going into an end of row architecture. So you're consolidating your compute estate and really making sure that you're not requiring more than you need to in terms of number of ports as well. What's kicker here is when we start getting into the layers above that. So a cloud-enabled infrastructure with the consoles, the management consoles on top of it. What we've done is we've provided you with a data services cloud console, which is a cloud management platform for managing all of your infrastructure. It's a centralized platform delivered as a service, and it delivers the simplicity of public cloud to you with intent-based provisioning. No longer as a storage admin are you looking to provision LUNs. You're provisioning applications and workloads directly, and the data services cloud console actually delivers to you the public cloud management piece of your infrastructure that you need. It also is enabled with a cloud services architecture in that you have subscription models for the different services that you need. So for instance, InfoSight, our AI in the data center, our predictive analytics platform, which is so much more than just predictive analytics. It's proactive fixing of problems, recommendations that come, and analytics throughout the stack, delivering analytics cross stack, whether it's VMware or whether it's Hyper-V, but delivering cross stack analytics throughout your virtualization environment. That now is a plugin into your data services cloud console. In order to manage all of this, I need to, Mackenzie, if I could just really quickly annotate on top of that last slide. There we go. Thank you. So here we have able to annotate for some reason, but oh, here we go. Finally. So here we have layer. As I said, I was actually going to whiteboard all of this for you, so excuse the technical difficulties in scribbling, but we have our Ezmeral container platform layer, okay, as well as our VMware layer. And our Ezmeral platform layer is critical to all of this because Ezmeral is what brings the legacy as well as the application modernization pieces together. Ezmeral is, for all of those legacy applications which cannot be modernized, it gives you a common management platform with a Kubernetes underlay. It's built off of native Kubernetes to be able to manage that entire estate of applications, whether they're modernized or whether they're legacy, and be able to deliver that on top of our composable architecture with Synergy. Okay. Lastly, I will leave you with the cloud portability. So we have the ability to take the data and using our cloud volumes, which is essentially an application that runs in our public cloud, in all three public clouds, whether it's AWS, GCP, or Amazon, we can replicate volumes directly into those applications, and we can run the application off of those volumes as well. And if we need to run those applications in public cloud, then that's what we do. So that gives us the portability that we need. The other aspect of the portability is not just within a single site, but also from site to site. So if I can move on here. How can I stop annotating, Mackenzie? Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Maybe we can move on. Yeah. So as I move across from site to site, you can see there's multiple options that I have depending on what are your business requirements. So if I have my RPOs and RTOs are required to be down to 0. Then I have peer persistence, synchronous peer persistence, active peer persistence based on synchronous remote copy, which provides simultaneous transparent failover of host IO from one Electra storage system to another. If I can afford to have a little bit of an RPO and I don't need the synchronous remote copy, I can then go asynchronous and periodic remote copy. And that allows me to go up to distances of 15,000 kilometers, allows for an adjustable RPO of anywhere between 1 minute and several months if I want. And finally, if I'm looking at a more synchronous remote copy, but not necessarily peer persistence where I need them to be active, remote copy then can be used, and it's deployed synchronously up to distances of 1,000 kilometers, roughly up to 10 millisecond latency round trip. So you have options,
Just a
and
heads up,
this.
you have 1 minute, Gorov.
Okay, thanks. So you have options, and the point is really to show you those options. Got um, you've got the ability to use different options to satisfy your business requirements. So to summarize, the benefits of our proposed solution: unified data operations, irrespective of where you're running your application. It's in a hybrid cloud environment. I'm going to give you the same data operations. I'm going to give you a simplicity of cloud operational model and performance. The arrays we're talking about, all NVMe based. 100% availability guarantee. I don't know anybody in the industry that's doing this. Nobody is. We will guarantee this at 100% availability for all of your data. And if it isn't, there will be a financial payout in case there is, in case we don't meet that 100% availability guarantee. Protection and replication, we just talked about it, multiple options. An AI-driven global intelligence, data and workload insights across the stack, all the way to the hypervisor, providing recommendations to optimize your environment. 10 years worth of intelligence across there. The container integration piece, the CSI driver that was just talked about, actually is available on ours as well. And finally, cost delivered as a service, subscription-based consumption for the services you require, and pay as you grow. All in all, leading to a proposed solution which satisfies all of your requirements.
Great. Thanks, Gorov. I appreciate that. And sorry I feel bad interjecting with like
That's
1 minute
okay.
remaining, but okay. So thank you very much. And next, the representing neon green. I had to differentiate turquoise from neon green. I brought my daughter. I'm like, how would you describe the HP color? I'm going with sea foam, and she's like, no, it's more of a turquoise. So she's
Teal.
an art student. There we go, teal. Okay, I'll tell her she was wrong.
No, it's actually not.
So, anyways, so neon green, Nutanix, and Michael, appreciate it. Take it away.
Thanks very much, KJ. Let me see if I can get this clicking to work. Whoa.
Oh, and maybe, hold on, there may be a couple other slides. There we go.
Okay. Let's see. Here we go. So thank you very much. My name is Michael Webster. I'm a principal architect at Nutanix and engineering team. I'm a VMware certified design expert and also a Nutanix platform expert and co-author of Virtualizing SQL Server with VMware. I've been at Nutanix for 8 years, and before that I was at VMware for 4 years, mostly in an architecture role, helping customers deploy solutions across the globe, being the most cost effective and easy and simple for their particular requirements. So we've already gone through the requirements for a hybrid cloud digital transformation to support both traditional workloads and also modernizing apps, so I won't spend too much time on that. What I'd like to share with you today is how Nutanix has been built from the ground up to be a hybrid cloud platform. When we first started the company, we had engineers from Apple and Google and other cloud companies, and we built the platform as a cloud was built. So it's always been a hybrid cloud infrastructure platform. So that means it's easy to deploy, it's fast to deploy, it's easy to scale, and it provides mobility and options. Why would you want to change all of your apps to be cloud ready when you can change your cloud to be app ready and to support any type of application? So we support modern applications, we support traditional applications, we even support connection to traditional Unix systems, so you can have a complete hybrid cloud experience no matter what type of applications you're trying to run. And we provide a consistent and predictable management architecture across the entire cloud platform, regardless of where it is deployed, including with multiple cloud hyperscale partners. So we've got our data center services, our DevOps services, desktops, which is very important in a remote worker digital access world, and then the underlying cloud infrastructure. And this is all independent of how you choose to deploy it. And we'll get into some of the choices that we allow. Nutanix doesn't have to make assumptions because we allow our customers choice without lock-in. We allow our customers to deploy the most economically feasible platform without having to be locked into those choices for the long term. Now, the technology can be simple, but one thing that usually isn't simple is the licensing and the management of that technology. So I'll just build out the slide. One thing we did differently when we started to look at integrating with the hyperscale public clouds is making sure that we could allow license portability from a private cloud to the public cloud, and also to leverage existing cloud accounts, which may have cloud credits already built in. So we don't have to force our customers into creating brand new accounts to use any of their cloud infrastructure, regardless of the cloud that it's in. We don't have to force our customers to buy brand new licenses for any of the tools or software products that they're using. On the Nutanix side of things, the licenses are completely portable across hardware and across clouds. So this greatly simplifies the commercial side of things, in addition to how we're going to simplify the technology stack as well. So this is your platform or your cloud, any application, any location. You ultimately get the choice. You get to choose your favorite hardware vendor. You get to choose your favorite hypervisor. And we have a single platform to install regardless of location. We have a single platform with integrated software updates regardless of location. And it's an orchestrated process regardless of location. So in your example, you have 4 colo data centers and X number of public clouds. So in the solution, you can choose to use Kubernetes natively. You can choose to directly link to all the available cloud services that are available in the public clouds. You can choose any of the hypervisors that are available. We don't lock you into any particular hypervisor. In some cases, our customers choose to use different hypervisors based on need or based on the organizational structure. And all of Nutanix services and data portability between clouds is available regardless of those choices, including to the point of being able to live migrate between different cloud availability zones, your workloads, or between different sites. So we allow you to choose the service level agreements and the availability requirements for any application across any site, and to be able to replicate and protect those based on the unique application requirements. Now, because you also had particular requirements around data access, data control, and visibility, we've included a ecosystem partner product which allows attribute-based data control and classification. So that will allow you to choose who gets access to what data and get visibility across the entire cloud from that data. We have built-in Kubernetes. This is all programmatically accessible. So all of our infrastructure can be driven through an API, and it can be linked into a ServiceNow portal or any other partner-based portal that we support in the ecosystem. So you can deploy Kubernetes clusters in private cloud or in a public cloud within a few minutes, and they'll automatically scale based on the application needs. We have built-in multi-cloud security and compliance. This is not an add-on. It's out of the box when you install the Nutanix products and services. We have a full life cycle, including how to secure the applications and make them compliant with whichever requirements you have. We have built-in one-click infrastructure upgrades for all of the components that are in the Nutanix system across multiple hardware vendors. Now, the reason the public clouds are not listed on this is because the public clouds update automatically, as you would expect. But because we have a lot of variability in the private cloud and we offer a lot of choice, then we integrate with all of our private cloud partners to allow a seamless upgrade process, and our platform chooses the matrix and the order of how to do that. So you click the button and our platform figures out in which order those updates need to be applied. And of course, we report on the success across that process, and there's no downtime with regards to that. We include one-click database operations, so you can provision, protect, upgrade, and patch, and also do copy data management. Copy data management for databases is important because there's a lot of limitations with regards to how testers and developers can get access to data, especially if you have to create a full copy. If you can create a metadata pointer only, you can have an unlimited number of databases, and you can give each developer or tester their own copy of a real production database, even if it's 100 terabytes, and it doesn't take up any additional storage capacity. Now, this is a database as a service platform that runs in both public and private cloud and can be completely programmatically integrated with. So you can use it for your Kubernetes deployment, you can use it directly, you can delegate control to the testers and developers that need it, and keep the database administrators managing the policies and managing the overall architecture of your environment. We have predictive multi-cloud health. So we have support automation, and we are definitely customer obsessed. So if you choose to allow for this proactive support, your environment will report the health of every component back to Nutanix, and we will be able to call you when there's a problem and proactively ship components if there's any components that need to be fixed, or proactively call you to resolve any issues that happen to occur. This also allows you to get reporting and analytics in the support portal so that you're perfectly aware at all times of exactly what's going on in your environment. Now, we take this to the nth degree, and we've been known to resolve or at least to answer priority 3 calls within 10 to 15 minutes. That's priority 3 call, not a priority 1. Priority 1 call is usually about 8 minutes to get on the call. This is the reason why for the last 5 years running, we've had a net promoter score above 90 and customer satisfaction of 97%. So not only do we allow you choice across multiple platforms, no lock-in to any single vendor, we also give you the best in the industry in terms of customer service. Now, how do you deploy all this? Lots of different ways, and it can take a few minutes. But one way that would be possible would be to use CDW services, and they're very capable at implementing all of the Nutanix technologies, regardless of the choices you make around hardware, networking, or public cloud partners. Now, what about cost? Well, you need to know what's going on in terms of cost and where is the best place to deploy the particular application or infrastructure that you're looking at. So we include cost governance across public and private cloud, so you know how much each of those components is going to cost you as well. And that is the Nutanix hybrid cloud infrastructure built from the ground up for you to run your cloud. Thank you very much.
That's awesome, Michael. Thank you. I didn't have to. Jill had a good point. I should get a bell, ding ding, and
Yeah.
and call it off. But no, thanks. That was great. And so next we have Pure Storage. David, are you doing okay? I'm not hearing or seeing David at the moment.
Okay, I think I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. Bizarre, I lost my controls to WebEx. It was really odd. So anyway, in starting out, I wanted to say thank you to the Wookiees Incorporated team for introducing us and to bringing us in with our partnership within CDW to respond to the presentation phase of this RFP. We're really excited to show you how we can help you with data modernization and how we can provide secure mobile data within the Wookiees Incorporated environment. So from a pure perspective, where we started out back in 2009 was to fix the storage industry. Now, I know that's a pretty bold statement, but that's what our founders intended to do. And why they used the term fix was because if you looked at the storage industry back in 2009, and actually, frankly, even today, at the end of 5 years, customers really only have two options. One, buy extended maintenance at a really high cost, or two, rebuy everything all over again. And when I say rebuy everything, it's not just the terabytes, but it's the software attached to those terabytes as well. Then go through a migration process. Our founders saw that as being broken and set out to fix that challenge. And they did this by creating a new architecture. It's an architecture that we call Evergreen. And I'm going to explain what Evergreen is and how this could properly impact the requirements of Wookiees Incorporated. Number one, we created a software-defined storage platform, something we called Purity. And at that point, we had an option. We could have either deployed Purity on a white box, or we could have taken Purity and went to our partners or our alliance partners and said, hey, take our software and put it on your platform. We didn't do that. Instead, we created our own purpose-built stateless hardware stack to support Purity. Now, why did we do that? Well, by being stateless, what that allowed for is all of the intelligence to reside within the software stack, and in the middle, provide an abstraction layer. That abstraction layer allowed for us now to transform the actual physical hardware around the data with zero impact to the performance or zero degradation to the system whatsoever. So with that, we now were able to change the storage industry. And how we've done that is with this new architecture, we have a completely different go-to-market strategy. Number one, your maintenance costs are flat and fair forever. So what you pay in years 1, 2, 3 is what you're going to pay in years 10, 11, 12. Two, all of your software is included as part of a subscription to innovation. And lastly, every 3 years, we replace your storage controllers to make sure your hardware is always new. At the end of 10 years, your hardware is only 1 year old. Now, this changed everything. And we took it one step further, where we now have stateless media. All of our arrays use NVMe media or QLC media, all of it being stateless. This is all great, but why does Wookiees Incorporated care? Well, we've taken this abstraction layer and we've gone beyond the box. So today, that abstraction layer allows for you to stretch Purity from not just the physical box to provide this new solving of the challenges of the storage industry, but we've taken Purity and now stretched it across all clouds, whether that be on-premise or co-location or into the public cloud space. And this is a real key important piece to your requirements providing that data portability. On top of that, there seems to be, from a Wookiees Incorporated perspective, a focus on container development for new applications. So it's important to note that with Pure, we've also made an acquisition about 1.5 years ago of an organization called Portworx, which allows for the same mobility, the same mobility of data for your container platform. And the cool part of this is it's really truly an any-to-any-to-any infrastructure. In other words, we don't care what app it is. We don't care what flavor of Kubernetes makes you happy, and we don't care about what cloud you use, and quite frankly, we don't care about the hardware. Yes, we want to sell you more Pure. I would be lying if I didn't say that. But if you have other infrastructure that requires the capabilities of Portworx, that's fine too. But now you've got the ability to do persistent storage, do migration of data back and forth from a container perspective, do DR, have security within your container platform, automation, and backup. So let's take a look at the full portfolio. We have a large portfolio of products that satisfies all your requirements, whether that be your low latency workload, your high bandwidth, massively parallel workloads, high capacity tier with QLC, and in the public cloud, you now can run Pure as Cloud Block Store, which is a virtual edition of Pure. Great. Regardless of the platform, regardless of the location, the entire environment is all managed by one tool. And it's a SaaS-based tool, a tool that you don't have to manage, so you don't have to manage your management tools, and you literally can manage the entire fleet from an application on your phone. So let's look at what this means for Wookiees Incorporated. Let's look at the solution. First off, I wanted to say thank you very much for clarifying some of the data. I'm providing some of the business drivers that are required and some of the requirements as a whole from a technology perspective, because we're really wanting very, very much to align your business drivers to our technology. And this has allowed us to do that. So let's look at the architecture. So first off, what we're looking to do and what we're recommending is that with purity being on your data pipeline, what we're looking to do is then hang your different sites to or connect to that pipeline. And what's amazing about doing this is that we're really wanting to focus in on Canadian organizations. So we wanted to use Canadian co-locations, and I know that was important to Wookiees Incorporated. And by doing that, we also wanted to select ones that had the ability to have direct connect or express route in your environment. The reason for that is that Pure can truly be the backend storage to AWS and Azure through an API. So why do you care? What it means is you have the option now to be able to use those services and have those services be delivered to your own storage. So you can point to the storage, you can hug the storage that is your environment. And that means you have data residency. And it also means that you don't have to worry about egress costs if you move away from that platform because you own the data. Now, we also want to connect to the public cloud as well. So by providing that, you now can either run egress free or you can run it in the public cloud depending on your requirements. From a procurement perspective, we actually can sell this as a traditional evergreen CapEx solution. Not a problem whatsoever, we can do that. But what we're recommending is that you buy this as a service. Pure as a service gives you the capability to consume this entire solution with one SKU. A 8 petabyte license SKU that you then can carve out any direction you want. So you take that 8 petabytes, you can have some on-prem as physical devices, some virtual in the cloud. And you can move back and forth depending on your requirements. Why we're recommending this is that today you're 75-25. 75 on-prem, 25 in the public cloud, but that could change. So we don't want your investment today to impact you in the future. You can change and move back and forth dynamically, carving out that 8 petabytes as you see fit. Now, you might be curious, okay, that's cool, but what does the actual hardware look like? Well, just to give you an idea, this is what you would be delivered from a Pure perspective. You're looking at 6 rack units in the main site, 6 rack units in site 4 for DR, and then 3 rack units for site 2 and site 3. So this is a high-level view, but I think the important part here is to focus in on the data portability aspects of your RFP. So let's go a little bit deeper into that element. So looking at data mobility. Before I start, I mentioned that all of the software is included. which is true. All the software that you have here has available, you receive today. And anything that comes out in the future, you get that too. But the one thing I didn't tell you was that not only do you get it, it's always running all the time. So whether that be deduplication, compression, synchronization, encryption, it's running all the time. There's no turning it off, there's no configuring, there's no license to buy. So as a result, if you want to move from, like our example here, and what we're recommending is site 2 replicates to site 1, the main site, via our active cluster technology. All of our data mobility platforms and technologies are included, so you can use whatever makes sense at the time. Same if you want to move data from site 3 to the main site. In this example, we believe that looking at the bandwidth, you may have some challenges with higher latency, so you might want to use our async replication. Here's a key thing to note though. If you're wrong and you want to move this from async to sync, it's a couple clicks away. Enabling the data stream is 4 clicks. Changing it is another couple clicks. That's it. There's nothing else to do. So this is very, very simple to deploy and to keep going long term. Now for your 4th site, what we're recommending is using our active DR technology, which takes the data from your main site, which is a combination of site 2, 3, and the main site, and use our streaming technology to move data to the 4th site, giving you near 0 RPO from a recoverability perspective. Again, this is no cost to you, it's just part of what we do. If you are using egress free zones, or if you're using the public cloud zones, either way, you have the ability to snap to cloud. This is a great way to move your data back and forth from on-prem to the cloud. Also could be used as part of your DR strategy. You also have the ability to do an asynchronous replication to Cloud Block Store, because everything that's available on the physical array is available in the virtual array. And then lastly, you can now replicate, we're recommending from the regional sites, because of that small link, using active DR to move that data over to the 4th site for DR. The key thing to note is that everything is encrypted. There's one other piece here that we don't talk enough about, is that with Pure, you get what we call the get out of jail free card. And what I mean by that is that we have built-in ransomware protection with all of our arrays, utilizing our safe mode snapshot. So at any point, if you're compromised by ransomware, you can recover by an immutable snapshot. And that's available in all instances of Pure, all managed by Pure One, regardless of whether you're dealing with Portworx, for modern applications, or Purity, and you're connecting to VMware. Leveraging that technology, you can actually monitor and manage through vCenter if you wish as well. But Purity is your one console to manage the entire stack.
You got 30 seconds, David.
Perfect. So what does Evergreen bring you? It brings you freedom. You no longer have to worry about moving data between clouds. Very simple. No more forklift updates. You got one tool to manage everything. Your data is always encrypted. DR is just native to the system. It's what we do. Ransomware recovery built right into the system. Data migration between public cloud, data duplication in the public cloud, reducing your costs within the public cloud environment, moving your public cloud from 4 nines of availability to 6 nines of reliability, uber ridiculously simple procurement, and one management and operational tool for all environments, egress-free environments, and you now have an ability to do container mobility with security DR and backup. With that, I wanted to thank Wookiees Incorporated for listening to this next phase of the RFP.
I like that. I think I may make all future incarnations of this company Wookiees Inc. I do like that. One of the questions was, will we provide the deck? I'll double check with the partners. I think everything here is shareable, but we'll definitely get that out to you guys. Happy to engage with with you, our customers. I've been alongside of each of these partners as they have solved problems for our customers, and really, they all have dynamic, interesting solutions, and so looking forward to engage. Definitely talk to your account managers, your account executives, and reach out. And then just again, you can scan this QR code, or there's a link that you can go to as well, just to go through the survey. I'm sure there's going to be some bragging rights behind the scenes as far as which one of the partners you, our customers, are voting for. But again, really appreciate your time. Really appreciate you guys working through another webinar. But love to hear your feedback on this. It's a bit of a different format for us. So again, feel free to reach out if you want to engage on this. If you want to provide some feedback on the format and how this was done, we're open to all of that. So thank you again. Hopefully the popcorn and the beer hit the spot. Thanks again to our presenters, and I hope to see you guys at the next webinar.